Hi everyone, how's it going? I am really excited about this topic, and I feel like it's one that's not really expounded on enough. And I think it's one of the top reasons that a lot of women and, well, men too, but a lot of entrepreneurs in the online space are posting and their content is just not getting anywhere. I'm going to talk about the 5 top reasons why your content may not be working. Number 1, you're just not posting enough. Okay, this might seem like an obvious one, but apparently it's not. I talk to some women, they tell me, well, I post here and there, and then I go and look at their stuff. I'm like, okay, you posted like 2 weeks ago, and then you posted like a graphic of something random, or you shared like a random video. Not exactly generating the sales. I used to come up with things like this. Like, I remember 2 years ago, I did something similar to this. And I think I sent out maybe 2 emails to my list, 2 emails. And I was so baffled as to why nobody signed up. Okay, so that's number 1 problem is you can't just put something out there once or twice and then think that people are just going to magically sign up. You have to be front of mind, and people are going to have to see your offers or whatever it is that you're promoting way more than once, way more than twice. Even if it's just like, and that's why I always tell people, honestly, it's easier. It's the same thing if you're selling, like, let's say a $3,000 offer versus like a $5,000 offer. You're going to have to put stuff out there the same amount, or even $1,000 offer. Okay. It's still the same amount of work, but you have to be front of mind no matter what you're selling. So part of this number 1 issue is that there's the fear of coming off too spammy. So you don't want to be like posting all the time or bugging people or whatever. And so you just don't post and you don't promote and you don't do anything. Number 2, if you are posting, it's just not what your people are looking for. So if you are posting content, maybe it's just not relevant. Maybe it's not hitting the pain points. Maybe it's not triggering what it is that they want. So for example, like, let's say that you're in fitness. You may believe that and I actually have a client that's doing some like fitness challenges, and so that's why this is kind of top of mind. And I was kind of talking to her about this, and she said, so one of the things that she said was, okay, well, I know that they need to count their macros, they need to count this and all this, like what we call technobabble. And I basically told her, well, what is it that your people want? That's what they need. But if you're talking to them in terms of what they need versus what they're wanting, all they want is to feel sexy in their skinny jeans. All they want is to feel like they can wear a bikini and not have to like stand weird because they're trying to suck in their gut. I mean, these are the things that they want. Sure, they may need to keep track of certain numbers and do certain things, but if you lead with what they need, they're going to tune you out. That's going to be like technobabble to them. So that's number 2, is you have to make sure that you know who you're speaking to, so that what you're saying to them is just so laser focused and it hits the right psychological triggers. Marketing and copywriting and content writing, it's so much about psychology and hitting those triggers and psychologically triggering emotion in your person, so that when they're reading your stuff or they're consuming your stuff, they're like, I need to know more. I need more of this. I need to sign up for whatever you're doing because I need this problem solved right now. Number 3 is kind of on the flip side, and this one is you are too annoying and spammy. And this one's actually the one that I think most, especially as women, we are so scared of coming off spammy or salesy. I know that, like I said, I just mentioned my example. That was such a big one for me, that I was promoting this like coaching package. I sent out 2 emails and I was so confused as to why no one signed up, because I was just scared of coming off spammy. I didn't want to be the spammer. And so I was like, well, I'm just gonna like kind of tell them. I'm going to kind of tell them what it's about, because I don't want them to unsubscribe or unfollow me or whatever it is, right? And the simple solution to this, and obviously this takes practice, and I tell even my private clients this, for you to become a master of what you're doing, first you need to learn proper techniques and proper ways of communication and hitting, like I said, hitting the psychological triggers of your person, and getting a little more exciting with your content. But in general, you also have to realize that yes, people are going to unsubscribe, people are going to unfollow, and it's going to take time until you, and it doesn't have to take that long, but it's practice. So if you're never showing up, you're never posting content, you're never doing it, how are you ever going to get better at it? So give yourself a break. Know that not all of your content is going to be amazing at the beginning, but as soon as you start getting that practice and doing it over and over, you start refining, and that's where mastery happens. So if nothing else, the spammy and the being salesy, the solution to that is you need to give people what they want. So we go back to the same thing that I just said like 2 seconds ago. Don't lead with what people need. Lead with what they're wanting. What is it that they're like laying awake at night thinking, like, what are they worried about? Are they worried that they're not gonna be able to like pay their bills? Are they worried that their husband's gonna leave them? Are they worried that, you know, they don't have enough energy to play with their little kids, and their little kids are, you know, maybe picking dad over mom because, oh, I just can't play with them, so they don't like me as a parent. You know, it could be so many different things, but that's where you have to know your person and know what is it that they want more than anything, okay? And really hone in on that and speak to that versus what you think, oh, this is the features of my program and this is what you're gonna get here. Well, what is that solving for them? How does life look different after working with you? Okay, and when you lead with that and you provide valuable content first, and then you ask for the sale, then you ask, okay, hey, come and this is the way that you can continue working with me. But if you just lead with your offer, if you lead with your product or whatever it is that you're selling, that's where you're going to be spammy and salesy. But if you're valuable and people like your content, even if, let's say, you provide something of value and then at the end you throw in like, hey, I'm selling this X, Y, and Z thing, or I'm doing this thing, people are not going to be like, ew, she's spammy, because you just gave them all this value. So they're not, it's like that, and maybe you've come across that too. Maybe like you saw someone that was promoting all the time, but then like their content was so good that you're like, but I just can't unfollow them because I love their content so much. I know I've come across that where I'm like, this person keeps selling her stuff and I don't really want her stuff, but I really like her content right now. So I just don't unfollow. I keep following them and I like their content. So that's how you get out of the spammy, salesy ickiness, okay? Number 4. You are not clear enough. You're just not clear. Your content is not clear. It's not speaking to your person, or maybe it's speaking to everyone. If you are out there, and this is common in the coaching world specifically, if you're a coach and you're like, I help women live the most empowered, rockin' lives and happy lives. I help people live happy lives. What does that mean? What does that mean? Like, who are you making happy? Because for some people, happiness is a cheeseburger and a pizza. I'm probably one of those people. Okay. But for other people, it's just being with their family, with their loved ones. That's all they want. They want to stop working so much. They have enough money. They're tired of working so much. They just want to be home with their family and with their kids more. That's happiness to them, and that's what it represents in their mind. So you have to think in specific outcomes. Specific. Any generalities, any like vagueness, any whatever. If you're up in the airy fairy, like if you and think back to yourself. If someone told you, well, I'll help you live your happiest life, what would you think? And I'm just using that as an example, but I swear I've seen that. I have seen that in the online space, and I know I'm like, these people are not, I know they're not getting clients from this, because like that's so like, that's what does that mean? Like, if you're gonna give me a cheeseburger, like, does your coaching package come with a cheeseburger? Because I'll sign up. You know, this is the kind of stuff we're talking about. So you have to get specific. Like, what is it that they're going to physically have when they work with you, when they consult with you, when they have your services? What problem gets solved in their life? And the best question to ask to find out what that is, what does their life currently look like? Like what's actually happening like in their life. Like do they have kids right now? Do they not have kids? Maybe they're single. Maybe if you're a relationship expert, like you're helping people who are single and who are wanting to find a great relationship. So what does their life look like right now? Are they just going to work and coming back home? And they're like, that's it? Like that, and they just come home and sit, watch Netflix, and that's their life? So how now paint the picture. What does life look like when they work with you and they find either amazing dates or an amazing relationship? Are they going to be doing the same things? Probably not. So that's what you have to paint, and that's how you start to become irresistible to your people, because you're putting something in front of them that's making them drool. Like that's what they want. Why am I using so many food imageries and analogies? I'm thinking like, maybe I am hungry. It's like 1 o'clock and I haven't eaten because I've been on calls and I've been doing stuff, and now I'm on a live video. So I'm gonna go have like a cheeseburger after this. So much food talk. Okay. The last one is you're coming across as either bored or boring. And why do I say coming across? Because not one person watching this, I don't believe anyone's boring. I don't know, maybe there are boring people, but I am going to assume that no one watching this is just a boring person by default, okay? People are just, for the most part, when you are being your real true self, you're usually not boring. You usually have on like fun, interesting things about you that are not boring whatsoever, right? And a lot of times when we're boring, it's just because we're filtering ourselves. We're not being who we truly are. Think of the people that you're most close to. Why do they like hanging out with you? There's usually a reason. And to the degree that you keep yourself in that bubble where you're only that way with the people that you're close to, but then you show up online and you're this like, I'm professional and I will speak only in technobabble terms and really professional terms. Like, boring. That is not what people want. And especially if you're a personal brand, people want you to be a person. I mean, I'm using myself as an example, but I mean, live video has become just like, it's like me having lunch with some girlfriends. I kid you not, because, and you can kind of tell by how I'm talking to you all. I'm talking about cheeseburgers. I'm talking about things that like real talk, like, man, I love food. And ask my husband, like, I can put food away. And my bestest friends know that about me too. And they think it's the funniest thing, because I'm like, I mean, I'm not the skinniest girl, but I'm not like huge, but I eat so much. And I just let little things like that, I just let myself be me on live video, especially live video. That's really where people get to see the real you. And so a lot of times the mistake I see is that people get on live video specifically, or any content, but they're just like not themselves. Even when I write written content, I think, how would I talk to my closest friends? And that's how I talk. If you read any of my emails, if you're on my email list, you know what I'm talking about. Like I kind of use some, little slang here and there, and that's just how I talk. And it's me, that's my voice. And that's how you find your voice. But if you're not doing that, if you are being anything but that, you're probably coming across as boring. Or if you're bored with your content, your people are bored too. Period, end of story. If you're not excited by the things that you're sharing or how you're sharing them, because a huge component, especially of live video specifically, is your energy on the live video, is how you come across. So if you think you're boring because you are bored on live video, then everyone else is bored too. Okay, so those are the 5 top reasons that I have seen why content that women are putting out there in their businesses to grow their businesses, to get more leads and more clients, why it doesn't work. Okay, so take this as a list for you to do like a little self-assessment, because I guarantee you, if your content's not working, if you're not generating leads and clients you want, it's probably a mix of all of these. Okay, all right, ladies, thank you for joining me on this. Okay, bye.